For more on the new president-elect and the uncharted political waters the country is entering, I want to turn to Michael Bociurkiw. He's a global affairs analyst and a former spokesman for the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. And he has been in Kiev watching the election unfold and joins us now via FaceTime. So, Michael, I know you were surprised at how well Zelensky has done, but for those of us watching from afar, how was this comedian-turned-politician able to defeat President Petro Poroshenko?
Yeah, well, it's nothing short of incredible. There were many press conferences today by election observation missions, and everyone was flabbergasted at how this could happen. But look, I think at the end of the day, there were two factors involved here. One was that a lot of Ukrainians were voting for the TV, Zelensky, the guy they love, the guy that makes them laugh, that makes them feel good, the guy that really feels for the plight of the ordinary Ukrainian. And then, there was also the other part, there was a protest vote against Petro Poroshenko, the incumbent. They're, I think, pretty disgusted at the slow pace of reforms and also at how their meager life savings have not grown at all in this economy. So it gave him an incredible landslide in a very short amount of time without much campaigning, by the way.
And so it's obviously impossible to talk about Ukraine without talking about Russia and Putin. So where does the new president stand on ties with Russia?
Well, as you pointed out, he's quite vague on his policies, but he did say that one of his first priorities would be to get the Donbass returned. It's already been 5 years, more than 13,000 dead, millions displaced. And then don't forget, Andrew, there's also the 24 Ukrainian servicemen who were captured way back in November by Russia that are in prison in Moscow. I think that they need to come back home. So it's a new, fresh face at the table. I think Zelensky may even be in the mood to sit down with Putin, perhaps on neutral ground, and work out a deal. Because Russia, I think, is at that stage where they want to pull out of the Donbass. It's been very costly for them, especially in terms of those economic sanctions.
So what kind of strategy do you think Russia is now mulling over as they absorb this news?
Well, I think that they're going to want to get to know a little bit more about what he stands for. But, let's make no mistake, he's very different from the very patriotic, hardline, argumentative Petro Poroshenko. This is someone who is willing to try fresh approaches. And I think if, he's already been in Paris, if he can get Macron and Merkel to work out a deal where the Donbass is returned to Ukraine and those sanctions are either lightened or done away with, Putin may be in a deal-making mood that way.
And what about the Ukrainian diaspora around the world, and especially here in Canada, one of the largest Ukrainian populations outside of Ukraine? How do you think they are seeing these results?
Well, it needs to be said that the diaspora has been, for the most part, very supportive of Poroshenko. I would say even anti-Zelensky. And the Zelensky campaign has seen this. And I would even go so far as to say that some community organs acted inappropriately in terms of telling people not to vote or not to support Zelensky. So I think they need to get over this. Zelensky is the president chosen by the Ukrainian people, and they need to be proper stakeholders because Ukrainians in Canada, United States, and elsewhere, they've been very important partners to Ukraine in terms of pushing for loans, legislation, support. And Zelensky and the Ukrainian people need them on side in order to continue that relationship.
All right, Michael, thank you. That is Global Affairs Analyst Michael Bociurkiw joining us from Kiev.